Major activity covering TAE ASS 401B, TAE ASS 402B, TAE ASS 403B and TAE DEL 301A, Part A, B and C, Vickie Petersen, TAE 40110. We're going to be looking at the validation process for the instrument that has been developed. Now, the purpose of the validation is to assess the tool against the performance criteria and make sure that it is relevant, meets the evidence, principles of evidence and principles of assessment. The relevant competency standard is HL FTA 311A, which is Apply First Aid. The resources needed will include a fully stocked first aid kit and an area large enough to be able to perform a simulation. The validation is planned to be performed on the 19th of June. And the location will be at Margaret House. The validation approach is face-to-face and the moderator is Vickie Petersen. The other participant is Neil Francis. The preparation required has been to read and familiarise ourselves with the assessment instrument that has been developed by Vickie Petersen and the elements and performance criteria of the unit of competency that is the instrument is assessing. We're now going to look at the criteria and look at whether the assessment instrument meets all of the criteria within the situation. So element 1.1, identify, assess and minimise hazards in the situation that may pose a risk of injury or illness to self and others. This is covered within the assessment instrument titled Simulation. Do you feel that it is adequately covered within this simulation to be able to prove competency?
Yes, I feel all the criteria have been addressed in the instrument.
So within the simulation part of the instrument, criteria 1.1, 1.3, 2.1, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.8, 2.10 and 2.11 are covered within the simulation of the assessment instrument. And we then look at the written question part of the assessment instrument, and the criteria covered within that are 1.2, 2.2, 2.3, 2.7, 2.9, 3.1 and 3.2. Do you think that the written questions cover those competencies adequately?
Yes, I feel that they do cover those competencies adequately.
And then the last part of the assessment report, the assessment instrument, is the report, which covers communicating the details of the incident, and this covers items criteria 3.1 and 3.2. It also overarches the preceding criteria and gives a total assessment from the learner as to what they've learnt throughout the simulation. Do you feel that this part of the assessment instrument covers these criteria?
Yes, it's very valid and very comprehensive.
Now, what feedback would you give on the assessment instrument?
It was easy to understand, well set out, and user-friendly.
you see any recommendations for improvement within this?
Actually, I see no room for improvement. It's a very comprehensive document.
Okay, so we'll just sign now to say that we've actually validated that assessment. And this will form part of the file for this training package. End of assessment.